He is a 61-year-old aspiring model and actor who is redefining the industry scene.
Not in my wildest imagination or my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would actually be coming in front of the camera.
He has had a successful stint as a media professional when he first arrived in UAE in 1988.
Yes, we do miss India. We make it a point, at least me and my wife make it a point to, once or twice every month we go down to one of our favorite restaurants over here for a pani puri.
NewsX proudly presents the VaKu Diaspora dialogue with Puneet Sud.
Well, hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX VaKu and my name is Megha. Joining me on the broadcast today is a very special guest. His name is Puneet Sud. He's from Dubai. He's been there for the past 33 years. He visited the city in 1988 and has been there ever since. He, in fact, is a civil engineer by qualification, but decided to dabble in the media and has, in fact, now begun to grace your television screens as a model in television commercials. It's good to have you, Puneet, on the broadcast.
Very good evening, Megha, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be on your channel and talking to your viewers.
Absolutely. It's a privilege to interview as well because, being a civil engineer, then you talk about dabbling in the media, behind the scenes. Sales and marketing was your forte, and then now deciding to grace the camera, and that too at a very ripe age when you're in your 60s. So that's what's that concoction? What was that thing that pushed you to come in front of the camera? Was it a lifelong dream and you decided now is the fact that I have all my responsibilities done, and now that I'm getting the opportunity, to why not grab it?
Yes, to a certain extent, what you say, Megha, is true. No, not in my wildest imagination or my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would actually be coming in front of the camera. After I quit my 9-to-5 job in 2016, December, I spent a couple of years shooting in the dark, trying to figure out what's going to be the next stage in my life. To be honest with you, and I've said this very often in the past as well, is I hate the word retire. It suddenly makes me 10 years older than what I am, So I wanted to create something for myself which would take me through this stage of my life. Acting, or rather modeling, came to me by accident, Megha. I was in fact sitting with one of my clients and, over a cup of coffee, what's life going to be after 60? I'm not doing a 9-to-5 job anymore, so what next? And he said, why don't you consider modeling? And I still remember I had this very quizzical look on my face, and I said, sorry, what did you just say? And he said,
yes.
Why don't you consider modeling? And I said, with all these handsome hunks, with 6 and 8 packs and rippling biceps going around, where do you actually expect me to fit in? And he said, something, you've got very sinister, dark, ugly. A month later, I started my profession. I made my foray into modeling as a background extra, Megha. I was a background extra. And if you actually blinked your eyes, you would have missed me in that particular advert.
Okay.
But, fortune favors the brave, and I call it a fortunate stroke of serendipity, if you ask me. And one thing led to another. And today, by the grace of the good Lord, I have done assignments for some of, I think, the biggest powerhouse brands in the region, if I may.
That's fantastic. Like I said, this is a show where we talk about the diaspora community and how they have moved overseas and done India proud by the kind of innovative work that you're doing. And you definitely qualify for that. So I would like to understand about your journey. You speak about back in 1988 when you decided to move to Dubai, UAE. Why was that decision taken to begin with? And how has the journey been, the 33 years so far?
Megha, I come from a business family in India. And one of the reasons, I think this will answer your question of, why am I a qualified civil engineer? Now, I come from a family in India which was in the construction business. It's a story for another day, but in short, I was basically groomed, educated to join the family business, which I did, and for reasons best known, I decided not to continue with it. And then Dubai called. Maybe I remember it was an Air India flight. It was my first flight, international flight, to be very honest with you. And I landed in Dubai on the 18th of August, 1988 at 8:20 in the evening. And I had just about enough money for me to take a taxi to my uncle who lived over here.
Okay.
And it was overwhelming initially, but yes, I started off with sales. I was into sales, and then I had the opportunity 2 years down the road to join one of the leading newspapers in Dubai. Wasn't a long-term plan. I wanted to buy a car for myself and get a home back, a home in India. What was supposed to be a 3-year stay with them, Mega, actually turned out to be a close to 14-year stint with the newspaper. And by then the media bug had bitten me truly, and I thought that this is where I should be. I then continued my journey in media sales with a telecommunication company till, like I said, 2016, I said, that's it. No more 9 to 5 for me. There's more in life than a 9 to 5 job. So it's been a roller coaster journey, Mega. I've learned so much. I've taken in so much. And what I've realized is that this is a country which has given us so much, the entire family. And I never tire of repeating that this is indeed now home away from home. So it's been a roller coaster journey, Mega. The ups and the downs, frustrations, triumphs. So we've had everything during these 33 odd years.
Absolutely. And I've visited Dubai, and so have many Indians, because it's a flight, just a 2.5, 3 hour flight. And it's almost as if you're traveling from India to Bombay, Delhi to Bombay, or a Chennai, or a West Bengal, or a Kolkata. And there are a maximum number of Indians that are located in UAE, and especially from down south. So do you by any chance miss India? I mean, just asking you for the sake of it, because the essence of Indians is very much there in Dubai, as I've witnessed in several regions, several parts.
Yes, Megha, we all miss India. I'll tell you something very funny. When we came here in the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s, given that Dubai is a cosmopolitan city, and I think we are close to 160 nationalities over here. But there were days in the late 80s and the 90s, Megha, when you strolled out into the streets and when you saw someone who was not an Indian, you wondered what the hell was he doing in Dubai. So that's kind of amplifying the Indian diaspora and the Indian presence over here. Yes, we do miss India. We make it a point, at least me and my wife make it a point to, once or twice every month, we go down to one of our favorite restaurants over here for a pani puri. And yes, I'd be very, very forthright and very honest in telling you, we miss India. We're as patriotic as
Are there times that I'm sure you must be visiting back home. Where in India do you live, or where are your roots in India? And do you visit often?
Okay, Megha. I was born in Pune, and I think I was 6 or 7 years old when my family moved to Goa. I have been born and brought up virtually in Goa. I've done my schooling and my college in Goa. My wife is from Indore in Madhya Pradesh. So you decide where my roots are. So it could be Pune or Goa or Indore for that matter, So,
right.
Yeah.
And do you visit India often? Do you get the opportunity to visit India often?
Yes, absolutely. India is on a travel plan at least twice in a year till, of course, the pandemic last year. We had to, cut short all our plans. But we have always made it a point to at least mark dates for our India travel at least twice in a year. So
Okay.
we keep in touch with India. We've
That's great.
got family back home.
And now with your new stint of coming in front of the camera and modeling, do you think Bollywood come calling, or the advertising industry in Bollywood might just come calling?
Are you into telepathy, Megha? Because I was just going to...
I read your mind. Yes.
I'll be very honest with you. I have auditioned for 2 Bollywood movies. I can talk about one, which is Akshay Kumar's Bell Bottom, which is already out in the cinemas, and it was something which was so near and yet so far. And there's another one which I cannot talk about as yet because it hasn't hit the screens. But yes, I have flirted around with Bollywood. It's absolutely fascinating. I have no regrets that I didn't get the role. But the fact is that it was a huge experience for me. It was a learning curve. And I have my sights firmly set on Bollywood. I have my sights firmly set on modeling assignments in India if I get an opportunity. Because, the country is growing great guns now. So it's a very appropriate time to join the bandwagon,
And before I let you go, Puneet, one question that I would like to ask you is there a particular community, Indian diaspora community or organization that you are part of? Or are there such organizations lacking at this point of time in UAE or in Dubai particularly? And if at all there are any that are existent, what are the kind of agendas, objectives that they have, especially for the growth and welfare of Indians living in UAE?
I think we have a very established network of organizations in the UAE which look after the interests of the Indian diaspora over here. And I have been closely following. Unfortunately, I've not been associated directly, but I have been following their progress all these years, the last 32, 33 odd years. And I think they are doing a super job of looking after the interests of the Indian diaspora over here. Is there a need for more? Why not? The population is growing over here. There are lots of people coming in over here. There are a lot of new Indians, the younger generation coming in here. So I think any organization which basically serves the interest of the diaspora now and in the future, more than welcome. Join the bandwagon, as I always say.
Absolutely. All right. Puneet, it's been such a pleasure talking to you and understanding your life in Dubai over the course of these 3 decades and more. I wish you all the very best with the new stint that you are thoroughly enjoying. And we enjoyed hosting you on our channel on NewsX VaKu. And here's hoping to getting you back on the broadcast maybe in a few months and years, perhaps when you are in a Bollywood or even an international Hollywood movie. And we spot you over there and say, that's Puneet Sud, and that's whom we spoke about just a few months or years ago. So thank you very much for joining me on the broadcast.
Thank you.
NewsX ITV network have proudly launched the VaKu Diaspora Broadcasting Network.
VaKu DBN will be India's first mainstream platform dedicated to the diaspora community. Help support us, become VaKu patrons at memboro.com/VaKu. You will get the first access to our interviews, make recommendations, merchandise access, ask questions and get a shout out of thanks on our TV shows.
You can also suggest to us who should get the VaKu Golden Chakra Awards and also tell us who should get into the VaKu Hall of Fame. Limited memberships are available at 100 rupees per month on Memboro VaKu.
Sign up now, log on to memboro.com/VaKu.